Hey, what is going on, everybody, man? I hope you guys are all doing very well. And, I wanted to make this video. I was sitting down just thinking about all the stuff that's going on. And there's no doubt there are so many things going on. But the perspective that I was thinking about was more from the media, more from, just the things that I see online, and also to the things that I know being somebody who's involved in digital marketing. Now, there's a lot of things that I realize the average person may not know. And so what I wanted to do is I thought, man, let me create this video and let me show you, let me kind of pull back the blinds a little bit so that you can see some of the things, some of the tactics, some of the ways that people are controlling media and why they're doing it and how they're using marketing and content creation to be able to drive people in certain directions, and also show you why they're doing it so that you can get a better understanding. For me, myself, man, I started learning about digital marketing in 2017 after really wanting to try to find more ways to be able to take my video production business to another level. And I started studying it, and I started really just falling in love with it, because marketing, in one sense of a definition, can really be explained as simply changing a person's belief. You have a product and you're going to market it in a way that makes somebody feel a certain type of feeling or a desire or something like that. And so marketing, in essence, can be summarized in the art of changing beliefs. Now, you could look at that as a negative, right? It all depends on what belief you're trying to change and why you're trying to change it. I could tell you that crossing the street without a crosswalk is a bad idea. And that would be a good belief. That would be a belief that would help you out in life. And, it would be a good thing to do. I can try to convince you that you need this particular product or else your life's going to be miserable. In reality, knowing that this product isn't going to do anything for you, that would be a bad application of marketing. So, there's good applications, there's bad applications. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, I see more bad applications than I see good, because people are extorting people based on some principles that I'm going to show you today to be able to generate income and to be able to build massive, massive businesses and even influence, things like elections and governmental policies and social, just all kind of stuff. So it's a very, very powerful tool. Never before have any type of marketing. Think about this. Never have has any other type of marketing ever been able to reach this many people as quickly and as consistently as they are today. We can literally send messages to people every hour, every minute if we wanted to. We could stay in their face pumping information until we change their beliefs. And so, my intentions with this video is really just for the body of Christ, man. It's for the believers. It's for the kingdom citizens out there who follow Jesus, who are dedicated to living a life for the Lord. And it's really important that as I break this stuff down, that we understand this as believers, man. Our home is not here. There are going to be things that happen here, and there are causes that we should take on because, of course, they glorify God. Anything that has to do with His Word and what He told us to do. I believe we have a mission and a mandate here on earth to stand up and represent the principles and the heart of God. So, I wanted to just make that clear. I don't think we should just not pay attention to anything, but I think we need to be really wise as believers, knowing that our authority is Jesus, that our authority is the Word of God. This is what we choose to live by. And if that's not your authority, then you can move on. That's fine. But this is for the people that have said, man, I'm living for Jesus. I want to see God's kingdom established here on earth. And my life has been submitted to Jesus. I have, like the Bible says, I have died to the past and I am resurrected in the newness of Jesus. And so that's really what this video is all about, is helping the kingdom navigate some of these difficult waters that we're in. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to really point out, let's point out first of all, the first thing that we're going to go to is attention. This is what everything is about online. It doesn't matter. I mean, I would even venture to say offline, but especially online. Everybody is in an attention war. Everybody's fighting for your attention. I forgot how many advertisements people see on an average day, but it's like over 10,000 advertisements that people see on an average day. Every time you open up your Facebook, you can scroll once or twice and an ad will pop up. You can close it, open it up again, scroll once or twice, you'll see another ad. Keep on doing that, you'll see ads. You'll see ads in your messenger, you'll see ads all over the place. So much so they've even created a term for that, and it's called ad fatigue. That's what marketers call it when they, people just block out your ads just naturally because they see so many. So what you really need to understand is that there's a fight for attention. Attention is the commodity that everybody is going to war for. Now, why? Why do they want your attention? What is so valuable about your attention? Let's go to the first aspect, and that is clicks. Clicks equal money. So the way that it works online, the more attention you can get, the more clicks you can drive them to make, the more you're going to get paid. This is why you have these systems like liking and commenting and sharing. There's actually a hierarchy to those as far as which one is the most valuable. Liking something being the least valuable. Who cares? You click the heart button, that's great. But if you leave a comment, well, that's a little bit more valuable because now you took some of your time to engage and leave a comment. So now you're staying on that product longer. Your attention is growing longer. Now, if you share that piece of content, which is like the thing that everybody wants, that's the cream of the crop when it comes to liking, commenting, and sharing. When you share it, now what you've done is you've now just co-signed on whatever it is that you shared. Now you've shared that to people that trust you, and you've now just co-signed that click, and they're more likely to click that as well. Because why? Because you shared it and they trust you. So there's a battle going on, and that battle is for attention. And it's really key to understand that, because a lot of what people are doing, the news, the media, doesn't matter who it is online, what's happening is they're in a battle for your attention. They're trying to get your attention by any means necessary, and they're trying to get it for as long as possible, because the longer that they have your attention, the more money they're gonna make. Okay, so that's really important. That's the foundation of everything that is going on that you're going to be seeing online. All right, so we talked about the clicks, right? We also talked about the watch time a little bit. This is, now what's important about the watch time is that this is what all of the networks, all of the news media, even websites, they gauge everything on the amount of time that you spend on their website, watching that YouTube video, watching that Facebook video. Everything is, they're watching the watch time, if you will. Every piece of content that is going out is being categorized on what they're going to promote to another person. For example, let's use YouTube. One of the parts of YouTube's algorithm is that they're going to show things with a higher watch time, because that shows that people like that. So in those suggested videos on the side, most of those ones are going to be ones that people that had a higher watch time, because that's how it's set up. Watch time is very, very important when it comes to things online. So they need to make things engaging. They need to tell stories. They need to add clickbait. They need to do all different types of stuff that I'll show you that is really just trying to increase their watch time. It's just trying to get emotional responses, and it's trying to get you caught up so that you'll watch and you'll stay and you'll figure out what's going on. And they're using all these kind of psychological stuff, which we'll get into in a little bit, to be able to get you to watch longer. That's the whole thing. That's the battle that's going on. Why? Once again, it goes back to money. They make more money when they do that. The longer the watch time, the more their stuff gets promoted. The more their stuff gets promoted, the more people watch it. The more people watch it, the more people click on it, the more money that they make, okay? So that's the game. Clicks, watch time. Now, what are they also doing? They're also tracking your behavior. Now, this is very, very important, because for most of us, we don't even track our own behavior. You know what I'm saying? We just go about our daily lives. We click on this, we click on that. We don't really pay attention too much to what we're doing. You know, we're just doing whatever's interests us. But behind the scenes, they're tracking your behavior. Now, say whatever you want to say about that. It's not going away. You know, I mean, I know that freaks a lot of people out and stuff like that. I'm good with it. I really don't care. You can track my behavior all you want. You can do whatever you want. That's fine. You know, one of the reasons why Facebook is free is because it's not free. What they're doing is they're exchanging the right to track your behavior. And then what they're doing is they're turning around and selling it on the back end to advertisers like myself who want to send you messages, or maybe media outlets or any other types of outlets that want to get in communication with you based on your behavior. You see that? It's really important. We're wanting to increase our watch time. We're wanting to increase our clicks. And all of that information that we can use to do that is all right there because they're tracking every single thing you do. They even track, check this out, they even track what website you go to after you leave their website. So they know if you jump off their website and go to another website, or what website you came from before then. They're tracking all of that behavior. You're being watched. And they're going to say that it's to increase your user experience, which we'll get to in a minute. But that's what they're doing. You need to understand that all of your behavior is being tracked. They're watching all of your Google searches. All of that stuff is being gathered and compiled, and it's building a profile of data on you, your behaviors, your likes, your interests, and everything about you. Okay, so that's important to know. All right, because what they're doing with that is then they're sequencing. They're sequencing content. Now, what does this mean? What is sequencing content? This is creating custom, and this is really, really powerful stuff, but this is creating customized content based upon stuff that you've already shown an interest in, you've already liked, and you've already watched or engaged with. So you watch, for example, that video that's, anti-Trump, Trump did this and this, that. Well, you're more likely to then get sequenced into another video that was just like that. And let's say that had a different spin on it, and you didn't really watch that one. You didn't really like it. You weren't engaged with that one. Then they might sequence you into another one. Oh, maybe he didn't like that for this reason. Let me send him this piece of content because he's more likely to watch it. Oh, he seems to really like when this particular piece of, I'm trying to think of something, but this particular piece of information comes out, or these things, right? When this issue comes up, he really just jumps on that and starts watching it. Boom. Then they're sequencing you content more and more and more to affirm, to build up those beliefs that you already have. Why? Because it's an easy sell. You already like the stuff. You're already watching the stuff, right? So why not just send you more? Because what's the goal? Seemember, watch time. Clicks. Why would I want to, if somebody's watching a whole bunch of pro-Trump stuff, why would I want to send him a video that sequences him in anti-Trump stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make no sense, because you're not going to watch that. You're going to click off it. You're going to hate it. You're going to put the thumbs down. You're going to give it negative stuff. I don't need that. I want to be able to put you in this loop of sequenced content so that you continually stay stuck and watch. And after that video, guess what? I'm going to suggest another video. And how many of you seen that? How many of y'all, like, just think about it, got stuck in a loop where you just watched a video on Facebook and next thing you know, you're like 10 videos deep, like, dang, like, how did I even get here? I'm watching this monkey do martial arts, you know what I'm saying, on a skateboard. Like, what? Like, this is wild, right? That's how this stuff is happening. They're sequencing content, they're suggesting other content, they're seeing what you engage in, they're seeing what you click off on, they're watching. This is why when you jump into YouTube, for example, it'll show a whole bunch of suggested videos based on stuff you like, right? This is why all this kind of stuff, this is all tracking your behavior, and they're sequencing content that they know you're gonna already like. This is why it's very, very, you gotta be very, very careful with political stuff, because they're going to send you information that you already agree with. So if you don't like Trump, well, guess what? You're going to learn a lot of stuff on why you shouldn't like Trump. You already love Trump? Guess what? You're going to see a whole bunch of stuff on why you should love him even more. Like, that's what's happening in your newsfeed. Because granted, what person do you know that goes, man, I love Trump and I hate him? That's a pretty wild approach, right? Usually you love him or you hate him. And what they're going to do is they're going to sequence content that's going to show you even more, that's going to affirm your beliefs, that's going to build you up. Why? Once again, why? Is it because it's good information? Is it because it's helpful to you? No, it's not. Is it even because some of these people even care about the issue that they're suggesting? I would say no, it's not. Some of them don't care. Some of them are just in the middle. But what it is that they're getting paid. It's a business, man. They're building their watch time, their clicks, their attention. They're grabbing, and they're just drawing massive amounts of people to you. Okay, so you got to understand this little game that's going on. because it really determines what you see in your news feed. It determines what you see in your Twitter feed. It determines what advertisements, what suggested videos, everything that you can possibly see on social media, on video, on the internet, period, it's all following the same stuff. It's all following the same stuff. Okay, let's go down to the next one, user experience. Once again, capturing data. This is creating a bio, if you will, a profile on you, and they're doing it based on the guise of creating user experience. This is what they call being able to sequence you into these cycles so that all you see is the same stuff. They call it user experience. That's just a fancy word that they use to be able to say, hey, we're just trying to increase your user experience. Really what they're trying to do is just get you caught up in more watch time and more clicks and get you sucked into all of that. This is why you have things like Facebook and Google and Alexa and all of these things that are listening to your conversations and hearing what you say and what you order, and all this stuff is being tracked. Why? Because they're trying to increase your user experience, give you suggested products that they know that you would already like and you already agree upon. See, in marketing, there's a basic funnel, if you will, a basic process that you drive a person through. First, they have to know you, right? That's just awareness. First, they got to know you. Who's this guy right here talking? You know what I mean? Oh, this is. Then the next step is to get them to like you. Oh, man, I like this guy. He kind of talks like me. He looks like me. He does some similar interests. You know, okay, I like this guy. Then the gold, the cream of the crop, then they trust you. Hey, man, you should buy this. Hey, you should think this. Hey, you should go this way, that way, right? That's the whole process that they're trying to put every single person through. First, trying to bring awareness. Then they're trying to get you to like them. Then they're trying to get you to trust them so that they can influence decisions and behaviors, okay? And they call that user experience. And the next thing you need to be very aware of is AI. For a lot of us, we can't really comprehend this kind of, you heard the term like algorithm, and we can't really comprehend how this stuff is actually working behind the scenes, but it is basically massive computer systems that are working so hard and so fast and so intelligently to build out replicas of people's whole psychology and decision making and emotional states. Like, it is really, really advanced, really advanced. You should look into it if you want to know more. It gets a little scary, but it is really advanced to know. But you need to know this, because this is what's happening. They're building out digital profiles on people that are showing, once again, what their interests are, what they like. They're keeping track of all of that, and they're building out these profiles. And it's really important to know this, because you're already in the algorithm. There's a profile already on all of your behaviors, all of the stuff that you like. Okay, so not to freak you out, but to freak you out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really getting serious. And their whole objective with AI is to automate things, is efficiency. They're trying to automate as much as possible. Let me give you one example of this, and the power of it. So Facebook, which has some of the most data in the world, if not the most data in the world, either Facebook or Google, they have advertising, obviously. And one of the most powerful ways that you can advertise through Facebook is something that's called LookAlike Audiences. And anybody will tell you who's involved in marketing that you want to create a lookalike audience as quick as possible, because that's really where the power of your marketing dollars is going to take place. So what is a lookalike audience? Basically, what you do is you insert a tracking code on your website or your landing page or whatever it is from Facebook. They'll give you one. It's called a Google Pixel. And you'll insert that piece of code into your website, and you'll start tracking those people, tracking a certain amount of people. And once you get over 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 people, once you, they call it seasoning the pixel. Once you get enough information and data in that pixel, then now you can tell Facebook, okay, I have all these people, all this data. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go and find people that look just like this. And Facebook will search their data, and they'll go through all their stuff, and they will literally find you people that have the same similar profile types, the same desires, the same interests, the same willingness to buy. They'll take the same behaviors. It's a trip. It's powerful. It's crazy. Marketers love it. That's where they spend all their time, is creating these lookalike audiences, because it's so incredibly powerful. But what does that tell you, man? Artificial intelligence behind the scenes building. How can you go find people that look like people? Like, Think about that. How are you going to go and find those kind of people? That's crazy. But they can do it. And they can do it because they have all that information to be able to build that out. Very powerful stuff. Okay, the next thing is social proof. This is something that I put on there because it's a powerful tool. It's more psychology, it's more psychological, but really the idea behind social proof is they know that if they can get other people to do things, or to show, if they can demonstrate that other people are doing things, that you're going to feel more like you're not alone. So if you look at that article and it's got, 1 million views and, 200,000 shares, you might feel a little bit more comfortable sharing that because 200,000 other people shared that too. And 1 million other people watched it too. And, if you watched the video and ain't nobody liked it, nobody commented on it, you're going to be a little more hesitant to want to share that because you don't want to put yourself out there. You don't know if this is approved yet. If people are going to kind of come against you for it, or what's going to take place, right? So this is another powerful tool that they're using to be able to manipulate people, because a lot of you can manipulate this. The social proof, there's ways to manipulate it and people do it all the time. So, just be aware of that. Not everything that you see people co-signing on is actually legit. This is how, Amazon runs their business. Reviews, right? When actually it's proven like over 50% of the reviews on Amazon are fake. I don't know if you know that or not, but there's a lot of fake reviews going on Amazon. They try to clean them up and cut them down and all that stuff. But listen, they know that social proof is enough proof for somebody to make a decision, for them to trust somebody. People are more willing to trust a person than a company. Amazon or whoever tells you, hey, you can trust us, right? Yeah, whatever. We're already seasoned to not trust companies and businesses and stuff like that. But you let your friend or some stranger or something like that say, hey man, I tried this and it really worked, man. It was a miracle. Then you're more willing to say, okay, I'll trust that too because he tried that. He's a real person just like me. So you're being manipulated by social proof. You are. That's happening. So, something to be aware of. Okay, so that's kind of the system. That's kind of what's happening behind the scenes. All right, this is what's taking place. This is why people are doing it. Once again, there's good people, there's bad people, there's people that are just downright evil. There's, what I'm saying? Like there's people that are trying to be good people in evil scenarios. Like this one thing you got to learn about life, and I'm sure you already know, but let me just reinstate this. Like not everybody is one way, regardless of what media, once again, would try to tell you that all these people are this way, or all these people are all this way, or like you can't get caught up in thinking like that. The minute that you start thinking like that is the minute that they got you in their loop. Right? The minute that you start thinking that all Trump supporters are racist, right? That's a common one. All Trump supporters are racist. Bro, you're locked in. You're locked in. They need you thinking like that to keep on locking you in, because then whatever else they send you is going to be along those same things, and it's going to keep on reaffirming that belief. And come on, man, you guys got to see this. People of God, you guys got to see this, man. You really do. You got to see this. Trust me. I mean, go do some research on your own. This is just scratching the surface. I didn't even think about this stuff. I just threw it on the board based on what I know to try to help somebody out. But there's so much more than this. But this is just scratching the surface. But man, listen, maybe you felt that way, right? Think about it. Have you ever felt that if you have one opinion, you're afraid to share it because you don't want to be lumped in with a group that you don't believe in? Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt that this one comment, opinion, perspective could run you the risk of getting lumped into an entire people group? If you've ever felt that, which I know you have, because that's a byproduct of this. If you've ever felt that, then that's the system at place. That's what's working. That's the side effects of this type of stuff that's going on, man. Come on. Like for real, we got to wake up, church. We can't be played for the fool, man. This is why we hold the Bible above everything else, because the Bible keeps us clear from that junk, right? We're in the clouds. We're not in the mud. When you're paying attention to God's word and you're living according to God's word, you're elevated above all of this junk. But unfortunately and sadly, man, there's so many believers that are not. I understand, but that's the whole point of this video, man, is I'm trying to help you all out. All right, so let's go to the next part, right? Psychology. This right here is what the people that are marketing, people that are marketers are highly advanced and trained psychological experts, if you will. These guys, and I've read tons of marketing books, these guys are so well versed in psychology, probably more than your own counselor, or I don't know, right? But I'm just telling, I'm trying to get the point across. Psychology is a huge, huge cornerstone of marketing. That's what everything revolves around. It's behavior. It's understanding why people buy. It's understanding how to get people to buy. It's understanding how to get people to move to a next action. Like every marketing course, seminar, video, anything that you start to tap into in marketing is going to talk about psychology. It's going to talk about building out customer avatars, profiles on people's, understanding what their likes and their dislikes, their pains, their problems, their frustrations. It's all about speaking to a particular person or developing an audience. These are all things that I myself talk about because this is the cornerstone of it. Now, it's not bad in and of itself, but it is depending on how you use it and what you're using it for. If you're using it to rip people off and manipulate people and cause up things that don't really help them in their life, like anger and depression and anxiety, then yeah, it's bad. And this is why we've seen so much of this stuff, like with the social media stuff. We see people committing suicide. We see people depressed. You know, there's all these studies that are coming out that people who spend X amount of time on social media, you know, are basically, you know, more prone to depression and anxiety and stuff like this. This is why even psychology, check this out, even the scroll is a psychological response that is getting you to take an action. And when you're scrolling, you're engaged. It's not just like you're just looking, you're engaged. The scroll is actually intentional. That's why they all follow the scroll. All of them do. And because that's actually the liking. Carousel ads. You ever seen a carousel ad? A carousel ad is basically where they have like 10 images and you swipe left. That action right there is an action that is different than this action. And now they're getting you to take another action. And they're watching how far you get in that carousel. The max you can do on Instagram is 10. You can actually track how far they get along in that carousel. Where are most people dropping off at? Number 6, number 7, number 5? Are they getting all the way through 10? Great, you got a powerful advertisement. Right? It's all psychology. You just got to be aware of this kind of stuff because it's literally psychological warfare for your attention. And at the expense of your attention comes your behavior and your attitude and your connection and all of that stuff. But they honestly don't care. That ain't up to them. You take care of that. They're just trying to go after this. And if they got to go after this at the expense of everything else, they don't care. They're going to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, kingdom people. Come on, believers. All right. So listen, one of the biggest tactics is fear. We all know this. Fear motivates and drives people. It's fear. Fear. The more somebody is in fear, the more they're going to click on something, the more they need to figure out what's going on. Where's this coronavirus at? Oh my gosh. Like I need to see what's going on. Oh, how many died today? You know, what's happening? Do they have a cure? Do they, it's all fear driven. Does it mean it's not real? No, it doesn't mean it's not real. But the way that they're serving it to you is in a way that is going to agitate your fear. So you wonder why so many people are walking around with depression and anxiety and stuff like that. Once again, they're triggering all your fear responses over and over and over again because that's what's going to cause you to act the most. So they're just trying to jolt that stuff up. You're like, whoa, I just feel like freaked out out of no reason. I don't know. I read that article and all of a sudden the world's going to end. Like, man, what are we going to do? Right? This is fear. This is fear. And there are certain ways to psychologically tap in and jumpstart that fear. There's certain psychological ways to be able to do that. And trust me, it gets really deep. And these people spend a lot of time looking at this. I've read a lot of stuff. Now, I myself I don't do that. And if that means that I don't become a multimillionaire, whatever, then that's what it means. But that's not me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pump people's fear up, but they are, and that's what they're doing. Okay, so then let's talk about human desire. Okay, once again, another psychological type of way to be able to reach people. This is what they key in a lot to. Human desire. The human's desire is to survive. There's basic human desires that we all have. And one of them is to survive. It's been around, you know what I mean? This is why when you touch a stove, and it burns, you don't touch it no more. This is why you're scared of falling. This is why you're scared of things. This is where fear comes from, okay? It comes from the need to survive. These things keep you safe, right? Something, would come your way and threaten your life. You're going to get fearful. You got adrenaline. You get emotional responses from it that is going to help keep you safe and help you survive. And so what they're doing is through this fear, they're triggering this human desire, which the main one is the desire to survive. Now, there's something called Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. Very common, very popular, and actually something that's very much talked about within the marketing circles. So Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs basically starts at the bottom like this, right? And it is physiological. The basics, the borderline needs of every human being starts out physiological. What is physiological? It's the need to eat, the need to sleep. I think even reproduce is somewhere in there too. But it's just basic human need. You need to drink water, right? You need shelter, right? Like just basic human need. Then the next level, after you've been able to achieve basic, you got your food, you got your stuff. Then the next need is safety. Now you need to protect yourself. Now you need to have safety. And then the next is love and belonging. And this is where you start to see, acceptance. This is where people want to be accepted. And you see that even online. People are trying to find these communities and stuff like that. No matter where we go as people, they've determined that these are some of the most basic needs that a human being has, right? So safety, love, belonging. The next one is esteem. Then we need to esteem ourselves, right? Then we need to get respect from other people and so forth. And then self-actualization. And this is the top of the pyramid where we've come to know ourselves and, we're perfectly in tune with our identity and so forth and so forth. Okay, so this is Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. There's more of them, but this is what they're tapping into. They're threatening these elements with their content. Why? To be able to help drive clicks and watch time, to get more information on you, to build you out, to create sequence messaging, to build out these profiles, to automate you through AI, and to basically overall just monetize you is really what it is. They're just trying to make money off you. And they're trying to grow their businesses too. Because yes, there's money, but there's also too business development that's taking place, right? So somebody has a channel or a news outlet or a blog and they're growing and growing and growing. Like this is where you're able to see the power of building up this attention. For example, let's give you an example, is Joe Rogan, I don't remember it was some crazy like 100 million or something like that. Dude's got a podcast. He created a podcast on YouTube and he amassed a crazy amount of followers, the number one podcast in the world or whatever, right? Crazy. I mean, and I've watched a few episodes. He's actually got some interesting guests on there sometimes where I'm like, man, let me check that out. So he's amassed this massive amount of attention, and then what did he do? He took all of that attention, he took all of that people, and then he sold it to Spotify for an exclusive deal for like $100 million. This is the name of the game. This is the model. This is what people are doing. This is what even I'm doing. Building a personal brand, doing YouTube channels, creating content. I'm amassing attention in a particular area. So once again, I want to point out this. It's not necessarily that this is bad, right? It's not that necessarily this is evil, but it can be depending on how you use it and what you do. And this is the war, this is the battle that's taking place. Okay, so the human desire, the need for acceptance and survival, this is what's being played on when you're on social media, what they're showing you. They're not even showing you most of your friends' stuff on Facebook. I think it's like 4%. You only see 4% of the people you follow. They're watching what you like, click, comment. They're watching all that stuff. They're following it. Who do you like? Who are you engaging with? And they're going to choose what they're going to show you based on user experience to be able to see what it is that you're doing. They're not going to show everybody your post. They're just not. You know what I mean? They're trying to do two things at once. Yes, they're trying to give you a good user experience, but they're also trying to keep this cycle going. They're trying to feed their advertisers and all this other stuff. Okay? So, human desire. This is one that I just put there because it's really important, and this is one of the biggest common areas that people use their marketing to try to get your attention, and that's loss aversion. They did a study that said that people are more compelled or moved or affected by losing $5 than they are finding $10. People will go more out of their way not to lose than they will to gain, is the idea. People are more motivated by loss than by gain. So if you want to get somebody to do something, then you got to get them to have FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. You got to get them to have something where you motivate them by loss. And this is what people are doing. This is what these articles are doing. This is what the media is doing. They're trying to motivate people by loss, and you got to be very, very careful of that. And you got to understand that when you're clicking on articles and you're reading headlines and stuff like that, they're coming at you with these tactics, man. They're trying to put you in a certain box. Okay, come on, people of God. You got to watch out for this kind of stuff. You got to know what's really going on. They're trying to put you in a box, man. They're trying to control your behavior and your thoughts and how you think about things. Come on, man. We got to be really, really careful about this kind of stuff. All right, now it has to be mentioned. We have to talk about it, and that is the media. You know, there's a lot of people, man, that have a lot of trust in the media. And if you look at it, even not just trust, but man, that's who we have to be able to give us the news and information that we need to know. So we naturally have already been trained to have a certain level of trust for the media. That's how it was. You know, once upon a time, the media used to be, you know, the entity that kept things balanced, that reported unbiased and kept things balanced and gave the American people, you know, the right to know what's really going on. Well, things have changed. Because of this model, because of the way things have changed, now the media is a business. And no matter who you are or what you think, they're in it for profits. That's what makes a business a business. They're not nonprofit, okay? They're not only here so that you can have the information that helps you live a better life. They're here to generate a business, and that's conservative ones and liberal ones and Democrats and Republicans and non-party and bi-party, and that's all of them. They're all here. Now, I'm not saying they can't, everything that they give you is wrong or a lie or anything like that, but I am going to tell you that they are not journalists, okay? The media today is not journalism. Journalism typically is reporting on the information, giving the facts, doing research, giving the facts, and presenting an unbiased opinion or information. That is not the media today. It's just not. Okay, so the quicker you know that and understand that, the better off you're going to be. They are 100% biased. They have bias, they have agendas, they have personal opinions. That's what keeps things going. That type of fuel of controversy is what keeps things going. So it's actually a part of the media system to have some of those polarizing opinions and thoughts and agendas, because that's what helps to get more attention. That's what helps to drive more clicks and views and watch time and things like that. Now, one of the other things that we know and that we can see why it's not journalism is because when people are busted for lying or saying things that are not true or skewing the facts, there's no accountability. Nobody's being fired, nobody's being let go, none of that stuff is happening, right? They just go, oh, you know, we just come out with another article and we fixed it, right? But they're reporting fake stuff all the time. That's why we got that whole term fake news, right? Because they're reporting fake stuff all the time, and it's not journalism, okay? They're reporting it to be able to drive other business types agendas, even political agendas. You know, there's pandering going on. They're trying to, you know, align themselves with particular political parties and political agendas and social groups, and they're trying to gather all. It's not journalism. It's not journalism anymore, okay? It's a business, and it's something that they're a part of, and they're very, I mean, man, nobody's doing it better than the media. The media, you can't trust the media. I don't like the media, to be honest with you. I really don't, because I feel like it's an abuse. I feel like they're holding people hostage with information. They should be a trustworthy source, but they're feeding people poison because they want them to keep on coming back. They want them to click those articles. They want them to keep on engaging. They want to keep them stuck with fear and threatening their survival and all this kind of stuff. And so me and the media, even though I'm involved in it, me and the media, I don't really get along. I think they're a huge part of our problem in our country, and I think they're just a huge beast that needs to be spoken about. They need to be held accountable, and we as believers, man, we can't be drinking their Kool-Aid, man. We can't be sipping what they're doing because they're biased. They got agendas, and listen, the media's agenda has it. Let me just tell you this, man. It ain't nothing to do with our beliefs and our values. That ain't what they care about. They don't care about what we believe. They don't care about the Bible. I mean, they'll go right against it and tell you all kind of stuff. So I digress, right? You already get it. They're not in favor. They're not your friend. They're not trying to give you information to help you out. They're not trying to make sure that you have a happy, healthy life or any of that kind of stuff. They're trying to manipulate you, take advantage of you, drive clicks, build their business, and support the biases that they have. So that's something you need to be very, very aware of, man. Okay, so that's basically really just scratching the surface. There's so many other tactics. There's so many other things. There's so many other ways that they're doing this kind of stuff. There's so many other things that are going on, but it's really just scratching the surface to kind of give you an idea of what's going on and how you need to be watchful and mindful of this stuff. Once again, like I started with this video, man, we are people of God. We are not called to live based upon the climate and the temperature of the culture. And listen to this, man. They will lie to you and tell you that the culture is one thing because you're stuck in a sequencing. You're stuck in a particular algorithm. So you're going to think that everybody thinks that way. You're going to look at somebody and go like, what the heck's wrong with you, man? Why you don't see this? But the reality is that they're not in their same loop as you. They're not seeing all the same articles as you. So they're like, bro, I don't think that way. And you're like, bro, how do you not see it? This is everywhere, right? How many of you know people like that? This is everywhere. How do you not see it? Well, they're stuck in loops, man. That's all they see. And that's a really, really powerful way for digitally to be able to get you to continue to watch and to continue to consume. So you got to be aware of that, man. Not everything you see is everything that's going on. That's not necessarily the state of the culture. Even though it looks like everywhere, you gotta be mindful of some of this kind of stuff. Okay, so what do you do? Here's my tips for you, family. Here's my tips for you, kingdom believers. Obviously, first and foremost, man, you need to stay prayed up. Okay, you need to stay prayed up. These times we're in some crazy times, and it's getting really crazy and confusing in a lot of ways. It's getting really restricting, and a lot of us are seeing things on the horizon that are causing a lot of fear and anxiety, right? Once again, right? Some of it's true and some of it is induced. But I think for most of us, we can see that there's a real hatred for the things and the people of God in this world. There's a real hatred for it. And, as people of God, man, we got to be aware of that. We got to be aware of what's going on, and we got to pray, man. We got to stay prayed up. We got to make sure that we're in our Bible, we're in our word, we're receiving our information, our instruction from the word of God, that we're living sold out for him, man, that we're living righteous lives before the Lord, that we're connecting with our fellow man, and we're sharing the gospel, and we're doing everything he called us to do. Okay, first and foremost. But let me give you some other things that I think you should do as well that will help kind of combat some of these things that are going on. First and foremost, man, you need to be careful. You need to be careful what you're consuming, where you're consuming it at. You need to be careful because if you're not, then you're just going to allow these things to just enter into you. When I read articles and I read things, I look at where they come from. I look at what could their bias possibly be, and I'm careful. It doesn't mean that I don't consume things from different outlets or different things that I think are not. No, that's actually just the opposite. But what I am is I'm careful. I'm careful. I watch what it does to me internally. Is this causing me to have a spirit of fear? Is this causing me to feel like I need to just take this crazy action, or I need to just, have this animosity and anger towards people? Where does that come from? Let me just take a side note for a minute. Why are so many people so angry? Why are they just willing to just rip your head off and just completely disrespect your whole life based upon a political agenda or a political belief or who you support as a president? Why? And when has it ever been to that level? Historically, it hasn't. To the level that it's at. Why are people having these meltdowns and these breakdowns and all this kind of crazy stuff that is going on? Why? Think about it. Why? Because their systems are getting jacked up. You're getting fear spikes all over the place. You're getting loss aversion and survival messed with. You're getting all of these things, all these desires that a human being has is getting tampered with. And what is it doing? It's creating some very, very fragile people. You can't, for a lot of people, man, you can't even have an opposing opinion without being demonized. Like if I said like, oh man, that thing that Trump did was, hey, that was a good thing. What? You know what I'm saying? What? Like, trust me. I mean, since I said that, I'll go on the record because I'm pretty sure I maybe lost a lot of you with that, which is case in point. But listen, the dude does good things. The dude does bad things. Obama did good things. Obama does bad things. Every single person on this world does good things and they do bad things. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody can do something good and you can clap for them, somebody could do something bad and you can say, you know what I'm saying? Like, why does it have to be this thing? Oh, you support everything and he's a womanizer and a racist and you support all that. Like, whoa, caught up in the system. I just see something. Hey, Obama did some cool stuff too. I love that he was the first. To this day, let me just go on the record and say this. To this day, man, we've never had a president with as much swag as Obama. That dude, like, You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a president you could have on a t-shirt because he's just so cool. Like, that's a cool brother right there, man. And that was dope to see that as an American. Like, I love that. You know what I mean? So come on, y'all. Come on. So anyway, side note, side rant. I apologize. Let me get back to it. So be careful, man. Be careful what's going on. Be careful, okay? Go outside your circle. Go outside your circle, man. Get out the trap. Go outside your circle, man. Listen to some content that is not what you normally listen to or from who you normally listen to, right? Get and allow yourself to be open to different argumentations. It doesn't mean you got to agree with them or believe them or support them or share them or anything like that, but just allow yourself to get out of this loop, man, because you're stuck in this loop. Get out of the loop. Look at and watch some other stuff. If you're conservative, watch some more liberal stuff. If you're liberal, watch some more conservative stuff. Get a balance. What are these people saying? What are these people saying? You know what I mean? Just be wise, man. You know, if that's your deal, or if you just don't want nothing to do with it, then just stay out them circles altogether, right? Stop consuming. Once again, stay out them circles altogether. For a lot of us, man, we need to go on detoxes, media detoxes. There was a great video that a guy I follow, entrepreneur, has a channel named Valuetainment, that he said he was calling for a media detox. Maybe I'll link the video somewhere so that you can see that. Great advice. He actually breaks down a lot of this media stuff too. So watch that video. He keeps it real. He really does. He keeps it real. So check that out, but stop consuming. Some of us just need to stop. We just need to stop consuming. We're stuck in this cycle. We just need to stop, okay? The next thing is connect with people, man. Connect with people as people of God, man. We're not about agendas. We don't even wrestle with people, okay? We wrestle with principalities. And don't allow, man, the devil would like nothing more than to destroy God's people by turning God's people against his people. You know, it reminds me of a story, and this just came to me on the fly right now, but it reminds me of a story of Gideon. And Gideon was going to battle, and for many of you that know the story, you know, he didn't have a lot of people, and then the people that he did have, you know, he amassed an amount of people, and God told him to basically dwindle them down. And so that's when he brought them out to the lake, and those that drank like a dog, you know, that whole story. And he basically let go of a lot of people, and he had a small group of people, and basically you know, they were at the camp, and the enemy, they had gotten word that the enemy had heard about all that Gideon was doing and how that God was for him and with him and things like that. And basically fear arose amongst the camp of the Midianites. And they started to become really fearful about all the things that God was going to do through this small group of people over here, right? And they began to become overwhelmed with fear, and they sent spies, and they heard them, and they were all freaked out, right? And then what happened shortly after that? Actually, they got so freaked out that the Midianites went to battle and started killing themselves because they didn't know who was who. They got so scared, so freaked out, that they just started killing themselves, which in turn helped Gideon with his little army defeat them all. Wow, that's a powerful, I feel like that's the Holy Spirit that just gave me that, because I didn't even think of that until right now. That's powerful stuff, man. Fear will cause you to turn on your people and kill and cut down your people. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Connect with people. Get out of this loop. Get out of the agendas. Get out of the media. Get out of the thoughts. Get out of the belief changing. Get out of all of this stuff. This needs to happen. Oh my gosh, we got to push for this. The world's going. Okay, just get out of that and just focus on people, man. Focus on people. Connect with people. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, how's it going? You know, I know this whole coronavirus stuff has got us not being able to connect with people, which is another reason why all this stuff is going crazy even more. Because connecting with people, man, that's community. That's God's way. So when you take that out, oh man, we're really in a setup, man. This is a cocktail for disaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. It really is. So this is even more reason why the people of God need to be wise, need to be discerning, need to be focused on the scriptures, man. That's what they need to do. So anyways, listen, I hope that blesses you. I know this was crazy long-winded. This is a lot of stuff, and there's even more. This is all freestyle. I didn't even sit down and I kind of just started writing. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't put up on here. There's a whole bunch more that we could go into about all kind of stuff. It's crazy right now. But I hope this gives you some insight, man. I would love to dialogue with you. If you have any questions or concerns or comments or whatever, drop them. Let me know. Hit me on wherever you watch this video at. And if you watch it and you made it this far, thank you. Please consider subscribing. Kingdom Creatives, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, all that being said, man, I love the body. I love God, man. I love everything that he's done for my life. I want to see him do it for yours. So bless you guys. Until next time. Peace. Man, Father, I just pray, Lord, that you use just whatever you've been able to show me, Lord, the things that I've been exposed to, the things that I've learned in this career of studying and learning and growing in digital marketing and content creation and online business. Father, I just pray that you would just anoint this message, Lord, that you would anoint, Lord, what it is that I deliver today, and it would help the body, Lord God, that it would help the body to be focused on you, Lord God, to be focused on your kingdom, to be focused on your principles, on bearing fruit, to be focused on living a life as a follower of you. And even in the midst of everything that's going on, which there's a lot of serious stuff that is going on, Lord, I just pray that you would give your people wisdom and discernment to know how to navigate these times, to not get caught up in the pitfalls and the traps of the enemy, but to be focused on you and you alone, to worship you in spirit and in truth, and to not be swayed by deception, by evil, or even emotions, Lord. I just pray, Lord, that you'd give me the clarity and the creativity to be able to put this in a way that makes sense and opens up eyes to more things that are going on so that they can guard themselves, so they can live healthy lives, lives that are flourishing in you and in your truth, and in their relationships and in their community, Lord. There's so much division that is going on. There's so much hardship that is being caused, so much anger, frustration, pain. And Father, I just pray that you would use this time to be able to open the eyes of your people, to be able to encourage them and give them a strategy to navigate these difficult times. In Jesus' name, amen.